In this edition of Book Depths and Insights, we will be discussing Mini Habits, Smaller Habits, Bigger Results by Stephen Guise. The book provides an effective method for creating long-term routines and questions our assumptions about self-control and productivity. It's not always about our natural talent. In fact, it's often the opposite. We tend to set unrealistically high standards for ourselves and adopt approaches that are practically made to fail. Guise's personal story explains how he came up with the idea of these little routines. For 10 years, he fought an uphill battle with self-improvement. For him, exercise was paramount, but the thought of his 30-minute workout was as daunting as looking up at Mount Everest. After a string of failures, he decided to use creative thinking, what he calls false faces, to engage in menial tasks. He developed the concept of doing only one push-up, which he found amusing since it seemed so pitiful in comparison to his actual goal. After repeated failures, he thought, "What have I got to lose?" He lowered himself to perform a single push-up, which he described as really rough. The exciting part, though, was that the inertia had vanished because he was already down there. The first resistance was removed, and he proceeded to perform pull-ups using the same idiotic method. With that one pathetic push-up as his starting point, he completed a 20-minute workout that day. This became his approach: take baby steps. The development of other habits, such as regular exercise, reading, and writing, was built on these foundational practices. A mini habit is defined as the tiny, positive thing you do for yourself on a daily basis, almost as a punishment. The key word is very small, and the most important thing is that it should feel insanely easy in comparison to what you're capable of. The point that Guise emphasizes is that this method is more about establishing positive routines and reinforcing toward responses than overcoming long-standing negative behaviors like addiction. Adding the good stuff is the key. Still, it can counteract the effects of less active vices. For example, you can fight laziness by making it a habit to read at least 2 pages every time you go online. The emotional impact of this is substantial, as daily success becomes practically assured. What Guise calls a powerful encouragement spiral begins to change your self-perception. Feeling like you can do things and follow through becomes a new, empowering experience, and you develop a subtle sense of daily invincibility. Habit formation in the brain involves 2 main parts: the basal ganglia and the prefrontal cortex. The primitive ganglia, or the dumb repeater, is the unconscious region that automatically carries out learned patterns, saving energy and bypassing effort. The prefrontal cortex, on the other hand, is the self-aware portion of the brain just below the forehead. It manages long-term goals, outcomes, and decision-making. While it can override autopilot behavior, it wears out quickly. Training the basal ganglia requires time and repetition, as it learns through patterns and strengthens neural pathways. Rewards, no matter how small, signal success to the brain. Old habits are difficult to break because they are like superhighways. During times of stress or overwhelm, the brain tends to default to these established habits. That's why building excellent habits proactively is strongly encouraged. The average time it takes for a habit to become automatic is not a sign of failure. It's a normal part of the process. Progress is gradual, and the first sign is reduced internal resistance. Missing a day doesn't break the process. Skipping once doesn't destroy the habit-forming path. What matters is not giving in to the fear of making a single mistake and quitting. Consistency is key, and it often takes longer than we expect. Guise strongly opposes the idea that intrinsic motivation is the key to forming habits. Motivation is wonderful, but it's unreliable. Subjective feelings change depending on emotions, blood sugar, or even something as random as a cat's bad mood. Waiting until you're motivated wastes time and reduces drive, leading to a cycle of lethargy. As an action becomes a habit, it loses novelty and can even feel dull. That's actually a good sign. It means the action is becoming automatic. People often quit when they rely too much on excitement or inspiration. The truth is, inspiration is fleeting. Willpower, however, is reliable, trainable, and plannable. But it's also limited. It runs out. Many habits help conserve willpower by lowering the starting resistance, making it easier to act even when you're drained. Getting started with many habits requires very little self-control because the perceived difficulty is minimal. This helps overcome 5 major self-control challenges. Completing a small task gives a sense of fulfillment and avoids exhaustion, helping you save your energy for bonus reps or more effort when you're in the mood. Working smarter, within the limits of our mental capacity, is the key to sustainable self-help. Picture yourself standing at the edge of your comfort zone and stepping out just a little. If you continue doing that, the circle widens without much resistance. The book even refers to Newton's first law to explain momentum. A small habit is like a tiny push that breaks inertia. Keeping the target low tricks the brain into acting without fear. For example, aiming to do just one more push-up tricks the basal ganglia and avoids mental fatigue. The smaller the steps, the less intimidating they are. In summary, willpower is a valuable but limited resource. Many habits work by focusing on small, repeatable tasks. They help overcome physical and emotional barriers, leading to lasting change. The mini habit technique stands out because it doesn't rely on fighting deep-rooted behaviors directly. It works more like a Trojan horse, subtle, underwhelming, but effective. It avoids myths like the 21-day rule and acknowledges that habit building is an ongoing process. Timelines vary, and that's okay. Another benefit is confidence. When daily goals are as easy as one push-up or 50 words, you feel light and autonomous. That sense of independence fuels stronger intrinsic motivation. The system removes hesitation and fear by setting simple daily expectations. You're never forced to do more, but you often want to. This builds long-term persistence and mindfulness. Like training a muscle, these daily acts of discipline strengthen your willpower. Apply the method. Start with 1 to 3 tiny habits. Accept these as your main goals for the day. Use the why drill to connect each habit to a deeper personal reason, whether it's getting fit, spending time with family, or improving your health. Connecting habits to meaningful reasons taps into intrinsic motivation, which is far more sustainable than pressure or vague goals. By following this system, people build stronger, longer-lasting habits than with traditional methods. Stephen Guise's Mini Habits, Smaller Habits, Bigger Results is a complete guide to mastering self-control and lasting change. He emphasizes freedom-based, non-specific cues, like time-based or activity-based triggers, to make habits more flexible and permanent. Rewards are essential, especially early on. These can be internal, like a mood boost, or external, like checking off a to-do list. Please track your progress and kindly maintain your minimum habit without increasing it. Keep it simple. Keep it small. The system also has a few golden rules. Never trick yourself by secretly demanding more than your mini goal. Trust your instincts and celebrate each step. Focus on progress, not perfection. If something feels too hard, make the habit even smaller. Faith matters. Mini habits reshape your perception of effort and fear. By focusing on bonus reps, not bigger goals, you create a cycle of confidence. The key to real results is aiming for consistency, not greatness. This method combines theory, neuroscience, and a practical mindset. It helps us stop blaming ourselves and start trying smarter strategies. It builds faith in ourselves and gives us a reason to act today. This book makes you wonder why you ever thought it was difficult to begin with. Many habits challenge long-held beliefs and make seemingly impossible goals achievable. If you're curious about how stupid small steps can lead to what Guise calls insane bonus effects, you should definitely read Mini Habits, Smaller Habits, Bigger Results by Stephen Guise. It's a powerful manual for building discipline and confidence in every area of life. Stay tuned for the upcoming episode. And if you found this summary interesting, let it inspire you to read the full book.